wanna know? Oh, no. Oh, 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 oh. Step into the ring, it's the champion's corner time. Oh, oh, WWE, and they only break it down. We shine from the top rope to the mat, all the action, all the heat. Champions Corner podcast where the real fans meet. Champions Corner podcast where the real fans meet.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back. I know you've been waiting on it. We back in the building. We feeling good,
Sir.
feeling great. How are you? This is Champions Corner podcast coming back at you, ready to do the thing. You know what I'm saying? Yo, fresh off SmackDown in the hometown of Columbia, South Carolina. You already know it's about to go down on this show today because the Champion Corner was in the building. So you're going to get some live reactions in real time of how the feeling was and, of course, the weekly things that we do. So with that being said, before we get started, we made an announcement about a week or two about how we'll get ready to launch some merch. And I'm going to let my boy Ron G go ahead and talk about that for a minute. Then I'm going to introduce the brothers who here to do the thing.
Slide the ad in. We're going to slide the ad in because it's by that time. It's getting close. It's getting close, y'all. November 1st. The official launch of Champions Corner merch is coming. But right now, if you want something right now, you get 20% off.
Oh.
So go ahead and go to the championscorner.mospread.com. The link is on YouTube. The link is on everything, all the platforms. So go check it out. It's everything for it's Halloween time. We got a Halloween shirt just fresh off the press. Halloween 1, 2, 3 referee. It's on there. So get ready for that. And, you know, all the holidays, when Christmas come around, that's going to be on there too. So get it for everybody. It's for the whole family, men, women, children, babies. It's coming, man. So it's like I said, save the date, November 1st. But like I said, if you want something right now, you say you can't wait. You say you can't wait for the Champions Corner gear? Well, go ahead and get that 20% off right now. From now to the 21st, it's on a limited time. So go and get that sale going. But if that's what you want, go ahead. So hit that link. Thank you. We'll very much appreciate it.
That boy just sold them chicken wings like he's out the van. Boy.
Okay. Them lemon peppers, Rouse.
My man, though, I like it, though. I love it. Yo, if you're going to hear from...
Like I said, I got to put it on there, too. Hey, this is some of the merch. It's some ones I got right now on me. This is just what I got on me. We got plenty more, but this is what I just got on me right now.
Hey.
So if you like it, so, hey, go ahead and purchase. Go ahead, like I said, you can make your own. But go ahead, my brother.
Hey, I want to hear, from the Alabama ambassador as well as the professor to see how they're doing. And then we'll go ahead and jump on in the show. Fellas, how y'all doing today?
Hey, man, we in the building. We're official. We're official. Let's get it.
All right. Professor, talk to the people.
Hey, everyone, how's it going? Came back this SmackDown Live. Let me say something. If you are a wrestling fan, never neglect yourself from going to a live show. Go see this live. It's always the best experience, whether it's the people, the matches. Sometimes the commentary can take you out of what you're seeing, plus the comfort of your home. You get too comfortable. Go see it live. It's the best experience you can have.
Awesome, man. But fellas, with that being said, and there's actual facts, man, it's so much better when it's there live, especially if you're there with some loved ones. Oh man, that's a whole nother level there.
Yeah.
But fellas, y'all ready to do some talking? Y'all ready to do some wrestling?
Let's
some wrestling
get it.
talking here?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, sir.
All right. Let's start. I want to really start off with a high note of the surprise. The surprise. Can I say it again? The surprise of Mr. Yeet Man himself, Jey Uso. Yo. And let me just say this before we kind of talk to the fellas. Being from the city, I know how hyped the city can get when something like that pops off. You know what I'm saying? It's like, DJ, drop that track. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My man, that's we were not expecting him to come out. Yeah, I actually was expecting Roman to come out right there because they said it was like they had scheduled a face-to-face with Roman and Solo. So I was expecting, Roman and Jimmy to come out there and that would be the thing. But nah, bruh, that was very intentional and I like it. I like it. I like it. So we're gonna go first. We're gonna go to each one of my brothers and talk about what they thought about that particular interaction. One of my brothers, RC, he has a video posted on TikTok about his reaction in real time. If you want to see that, but I'm gonna go ahead and start with the ambassador, and then we'll go ahead on to BJ and then RC on this. So, Jacoby, talk to the people, man. What did that do for you to let you know that small surprises even like that can still get you hyped?
Oh man, well, to me, those are the best. The stuff that you don't expect, the stuff that you don't see coming. Those are the non-advertised. We went to a Monday Night Raw a couple years ago, and in the building on TV, they advertised that Edge was there. Like during the show, they said Edge is coming out, but they didn't tell you that in the building. Like they didn't air in the building. So when he came out to us, it was a huge surprise because they never said it in the building. So I didn't realize WWE even did that. They might say something on TV to the crowd that's watching, but when you in the arena, you're in your own little bubble. So to get that kind of surprise and then for it to be Jey Uso with that interaction with his brother and his crew, what he was saying, why he was saying it, asking why he went and got them. It's a reason we stayed away from him. Like everything about that fit. And I was like, and they didn't jump him. He was giving them grace. Like it was like, and I wasn't even there. And when I heard the pop on my TV at home, I said, "Oh my God!" I know that building almost came unloose. Like the foundation had to shake in that arena. It had to. I've been in there plenty of times. I know the professor and my dog Ron Rouse was in the building. So I knew his. I said I thought about y'all when it happened because I knew y'all were on fire. I mean on fire. So I loved it, bro. I loved it.
Hey, real talk. I knew it too. I was on TV like, let me find RC and
Right,
BJ.
right. I was looking.
Let me see if the camera gonna turn around. It's gonna turn around.
We was in there.
But
We was in there.
yeah, all good. Professor, talk to the people.
Oh man. So let me tell you something. I mentioned before that Jey Uso is the people's champ. You have no idea what it means when he comes into a building. That place was bananas. I'm talking wall to wall, yeeting all over the place. It was ridiculous. Even I got caught up in it. Granted, I wasn't as hyped as everyone else because I was so amazed by that moment. Jey Uso has the people in the palm of his hand. He is on a run. Dude is going to be the world champ in like 3-4 years from now. All right, that's it. He's a star. The man is amazing. The interaction they had in the ring, I thought was. I like how Jay is approaching it. I like how he went to Solo and just tried to avoid Roman and everyone. I like that he went to Solo directly. Tried to tell him, man, we need to get this fixed. Mm. I like how he kind of interacted with Jacob Fatu. It's like, you keep staring at me like this, you go have a problem. Jay really knows how to pick his face. You already got a battle with Braun Breaker. Now you picking on Jacob? Jesus, guy, do you have an early death wish? Calm down. Got to get you the world title. But I don't know. I don't go too deep into that whole portion just yet. Just let you know, though, Jey Uso is the people's champ. All right? No question about it. That man, Yeet Master, Mr. Yeetman, all of it. Yeet.
Hey, and let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you who don't know, when the professor gets hyped up, you better believe it's legit.
Yeah.
Because he don't get hyped over a lot of things like that. So when he does, you best believe it's legit.
Oh yeah.
Him giving
It's for
praise.
real. It's for real.
If he giving praise, it's got to be good. Because I said, man, I said it in one of the previous shows. Ain't nothing good enough for the professor.
To a limit.
But man, going off that, you said Professor saying he the people's champion. I was like, man, The Rock need to get that belt up real quick. The Rock need to go ahead and pass it on to little cuz. No, I got the Bumble Bull on it, but hey, Jay can still rock that. You know what I'm saying? But yes, it was very much a surprise. He's been my guy right now. He's always been my guy with the Usos from what he's been doing, but I was surprised because of what happened on Raw with Jimmy trying to get him, get him back with the family and whatnot, and Jay saying, "Man, get out of my face, bro. Get out of my face." I don't like he don't want to hear it. And so, but me knowing going to many wrestling shows, including non-WrestleManias, I just want to put that out there. I know that they have stuff after the show, is a post-show matches or whatever that is. So little part of me is hoping like, dang, can Jay be at least at the post-show or something? Like, can they do that? But when Alicia Tyler announced that it was Sami Zayn and New Day versus Judgment Day and Pete Dunne, I was like, dang, she didn't say Jay. And then she said, and then she said it was Cody and versus Solo in the street fight. I was like, dang, she still ain't say Jay. I was like, all right, well, I guess I ain't gonna get the experience this time. It's cool. Everybody, I still got a lot of people that I'm looking forward to seeing. It's all good. But when Solo came out there and with the Bloodline 2.0, I was like, oh, they talking they jump, bro. And then they mentioned Jay's name. And what Jimmy tried to do on Raw, they mentioned it. So I was like, well, that kind of perked my ears up right there a little bit. And so, and they talking, and bro, when that music hit, bro, everybody in the building is up right there. Like, I immediately started recording. And if you see my video, the camera's all over the place. I'm sorry. Like I said, excuse me when we posted it. I said, you gotta excuse me, but I'm in the moment. And I had to be in that moment because that's what I was waiting for. That's what I was wanting to see. That was moment of the night for me. I love a lot of other people that's there, but that was moment of the night for me. I was hyped. I was singing every lyric of his song. Like I said, yeet, like I said, the yeet is everywhere, man. And it's him coming down the rafters, man, and through that crowd. He's like Professor saying, he's the people's champion, coming through the crowd. And bro, it's a moment. Like it's like a party, man. It's a party.
Y'all remember?
I almost compared to like when Jeff Hardy came out. It was a party. That music hit. It's a party. He gives you that excitement. But this might be on another level. I don't know because he got the hand motion with it. And so a lot of people, everybody loves to do that. And so, bro,
It was a hand motion.
it was very exciting. Like I said, go check out my video on TikTok. It's on YouTube too, but check it all out.
So you brought up the interaction that they had on Raw, but Jimmy and Jay, and it reminded y'all seen the movie ATL.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Hey boy, where you been? Where you been?
Nah, not that. Well, that part was hilarious. But when Nunu when he took the chain from him, give me my chain, Rashad. Man, watch out.
Yeah.
Man, watch out. Hey, we ain't friends. We ain't partners. We ain't skate buddies. We ain't nothing. I said, oh. That's how he told his brother to get out
I
of
don't want to kick it with you. I don't want to skate with you. Nothing.
You know what's interesting about the whole thing though? So if we're looking at the calendar, the day is October 20th. We're all expecting this to be a War Games, Bloodline Civil War, however you want to label that.
Yeah.
So we're talking about 5 weeks out.
Yeah. It's not that
Give or take
long.
5-6 weeks out, something like that.
Yeah.
So for those who might be thinking, the point I want to bring up, and I'm gonna get back to a point I want to talk about that segment. You think it might be moving too fast? Nah.
I want to address this. I want to talk about that because that is the thing that even I thought about, whether or not it'll be too quick of a story. Because at one point, I want to say in September, I originally thought that the Bloodline storyline was not going to end in War Games, and they were going to try to carry out a Judgment Day-based War Games, and Jey Uso would be caught up in that. I had the whole thing planned out. It was like Rey Mysterio, Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, and someone else. I can't remember because it doesn't matter. They're not going that route. Now, this is one of the reasons I like Jay's interaction on Friday because he came in, he tried to avoid Roman and Jimmy, and go straight to Solo to try to squash this whole thing. In the end of it, Jay said, next time I see you, it's going to be different because I tried it this way. You ain't like it that way, so find it. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, he still ain't really trying to hear from Roman and Jimmy either. Now, there's basically 5 episodes, but of course, 10 episodes if you count SmackDown and Raw that we got to get through to get to War Games. In that amount of time, I think it's a good amount of time to get Sami involved because Jimmy is trying to be the bridge between Jay and Roman. But there needs to be a bridge between Jimmy and Jay, and that's going to have to be Sami, who will obviously be the 4th man, and that will lead to the War Games. I think that based on a 10-part episode of what we're getting with the Bloodline story, I think it can lead to a long yet short, satisfying road to War Games. Because mind you, War Games does not mean the end of the story. Roman and them can still lose this. Because I feel like you still gotta legitimize this bad bloodline to some degree. So I don't know. I was with you when I thought it was too short, but looking at how they're doing it and how Jay is reacting immediately, I think it may be right on pace, especially since there's no other war games to have. So there's that too.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And look, be on the lookout in the future. We're gonna do a segment on war games in general about because there's some more things to talk about there. But you, Professor, you was kind of thinking where I was going with it. He did say next time I see you, little bruh, you know what I'm saying? Hey, little bruh, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying that meant that next time I see you, little bruh, it's on the popping. You know how it is. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I was thinking, I'm saying, man, you kind of looking, Jacob in the eye like you about to do something, bro. I don't think you want that right now. You know what I'm saying? I don't think you want that right now. You're by yourself. You know what I'm saying? And here's my thing. Here's the question I want to throw out there. Because we're going to continue this bloodline talk in terms of, in this particular segment of the show, about everything that happened with the bloodline. But remember what Jay said? He said, Roman and Jimmy are not here yet. How does he know that? Was he looking for him?
What's that thing called?
I mean, he didn't see him backstage. I don't know.
No, come on, man. They've been kicking it for a minute. Was he in the locker room that we didn't see?
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how did he know that?
Because he did come up right when they pulled up.
He was trying to leave. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he was trying to leave, but I mean, you come through there right when they pull up. Come on, you got to look at him. You say something. I guess you want to show off that Intercontinental title. You want to do a little show off. Hey, and then you see what Roman had to say about that. Yeah.
Oh, what? Look, man. I just think about, like a lot of us do. I tend to look at those little details because a lot of people didn't probably grab that piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, what do you mean by that? You got to explain that to me, man. What do you mean they're not here yet? So you saw your brother on Monday. You said, get out my face. And on Friday, you come to the show. You say they're not here yet. What you about to say? Was you about to tell them to just leave you alone in general? Or, I mean, come on. The man said no yeet. I ain't never hear him say that.
Right. Maybe you just want to tell Roman that to his face.
Right.
He told Jimmy, but now you want to tell Roman that too.
He wanted to confront Solo too, though. He wanted to make sure that he talked to Solo directly. So he was there to speak to Solo. Now, yeah, he wants to do that. Now, him not, I can't deny if he might have been looking for Roman individually, but I do know that if anything, I know he came there to speak to Solo. The only reason I can think he might have known that Roman and them were in the building is he know that they travel late, because Roman comes on his time. Although Roman has been at the beginning of shows too, so I don't know.
Just something to think about.
Or he could have talked to Nick Aldis, and he's trying to avoid them. Like it's my cousin sitting right now. I'm trying to move out. Like I ain't trying to avoid them. I ain't trying to be in their way right now. I'm trying to deal with that. I'm trying to deal with my brother Solo.
I know, but then it becomes a question: what if Nick Aldis said, "Yeah, Roman is here"? Then he would have just left.
I mean, you probably asked him, can you separate us in some kind of way?
Nah, my thought
I'm trying to be in and out.
He was looking for him. To me, that's how he knew they weren't there. He was looking for him, and that's why he said they ain't here yet. Because I've been looking for him all day. They ain't here. I know they ain't here because I've been looking for him. But until they get here, I'm gonna go ahead and take care of this business with you. So that was how I looked at it.
Okay. Well, real quick, I just want to say that's a funny trope about wrestling. I just want to get this real quick out. I remember a long time ago during the NWO era, Luger thought Sting attacked him, and Luger was like, "Sting, why'd you attack me?" And he had not confronted Sting until the pay-per-view. And I remember thinking as a kid, and even to the day as an adult, do you guys not talk to each other when the cameras are not rolling? Can you not send me a text message? Could you just not knock on my door? I love how wrestling doesn't work unless there's cameras on.
Hey, you're right. There's one thing, Professor. There was no text message back then. There was no two-way, no three-way.
But I'm saying they're traveling them roll together, though. They're traveling them roll together. You couldn't tell me they couldn't at least have one interaction, see him in a Waffle House? Luger! I mean, with Sting, what you do, man? What you attacking for? Sting's like, I didn't attack you. What you talking about right now?
Hey,
The only
hey,
call that was
you
made
gotta
during
know.
that was my favorite thing at that whole situation is Lex Luger
Money
on the
country for
ground.
life.
Nah, when Lex Luger was on the ground crawling to the back, Stinger, Stinger.
Yep.
Hey, I can talk about that all day because that's kind of when we got that new Sting stuff started going because it was a fake Sting. But anyway,
Yeah,
I don't want
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
I don't. That's a whole other thing. Sting, one of my guys. But I want to continue in this vein as well. Roman, I want to start back up from that actual interaction in the back where Roman and Jimmy pull up. You know what I'm saying? And Jay's coming. He's coming in, and they kind of having a little, discussion, if you will, because Jay was about to walk off. So I think Jacoby said he wanted to tell him he don't need him, but I think Jay was about to walk off. And then Roman grabbed him, right?
yeah.
Grabbed him by the arm and said, "I am proud of you, and we're all proud of you." Well, who is all of us? Because I only see two of y'all right now. For one, you know what I'm
I'm
saying?
assuming he
He
meant the
said, so
family.
he said, no yeet. So when you say no yeet to that, I'm like, wait a minute. Who's he talking about? All of us. The whole family, right? That's what you may think, right? But
Yeah.
like, what's really
That's
going on there?
solo. Solo. Not
You
the
know what I'm
whole
saying? What's
family.
really going on there? Talk to him,
But
Crump.
one thing with that, I was like, is that even genuine? I'm with Jay. Is that even genuine? Because as soon as Jay left, Roman talking about, well, I tried it that way, and I'm gonna try my way. So I don't even know if that's genuine, or he just saying that because he might need Jay for this fight. Like, are you really proud of me or what? Like, so. And Jimmy already see that, and so, like I said, Roman going to say a lot more to Jay. Because even that, we won't talk about it right now, but at the end of the night, Roman saying what he said to Solo, he just trying to get through this so he can get back to what he was before. He really got to come to, be humble. He got to humble himself a little bit. And it's not going to be easy for him to do. That's why it's probably going to take some time throughout these weeks. Because Roman got to come down off that high horse. He still want to be on that high horse where I got the main championship. I'm the spotlight. This is about me. And bro, even Jimmy said, "Yo, you're a chief without a tribe."
Yeah.
He said what Cody said, and so like, bro, it ain't like it was. Look, you better find your genuine nature about the family and what you really want to do. That's the only way you're getting this back.
Hmm.
You know what? Before the next person, I want to kind of switch gears just a quick second. And Professor, I want you to kind of go to this. So let's think about that. Ron just said Roman has to come back off the high horse, right? Now let's think about this. This year, this man has lost the title, the main event, lost it, right? Lost his wise man, lost Jimmy, essentially lost the rest of the bloodline. Then you come back and you have a new bloodline, and then Cody's the champion, and he reminds you that I told you this was going to happen, a chief without a tribe. I told you that, right? And so now you got to think about Roman, who's been on top like that for about the last 4 years, and now he can't seem to, 4 or 5 years, right? And he can't seem to get back something he thought he can get back so easily. So what does that do to a man? I don't think a man's going to be like, hey, nah, man, I ain't about to do that. Like, this is my stuff. I want it back. Because remember, Solo said in the face to face, he was like, "That's the Roman I'm looking for." He said, "Oh, else what?" Maybe he raised his voice.
Yeah.
After he said, "I'm acknowledging," right? Or else what? That frustration. He told Cody, "Hey, you in my way in life," and now Solo. Else what? So you know what I'm saying? Hey, this man going through it right now mentally. Go ahead, Professor.
I get that. Yeah, he is going through it because he lost everything. He is a chief. He is a chief without a tribe. But at the same time, acknowledge that, right? He is a chief. That's key. That's a key thing right there. You say you got to come. Okay, let me address one thing. You said the genuine. I do think Roman was genuine. It's just his sense of genuine isn't going to be great because humility. He's still missing that part. But I do think he's actually proud of Jimmy or Jay. I do think he's legitimately proud of Jay. I just don't think he wants to come down to a point where he's like, Jay, I need your help. He ain't to that point yet. He's just like, okay, great job, man. Your tribal chief acknowledged how well you did. That should be praised. Come join the family in this fight. No, well, that's it, Jimmy. I tried it. I don't know what else to do. Did that, and I'm gonna do it my way. Yeah, Roman is. I don't think Roman is defeated yet. That's the key thing right here. He doesn't. He's not totally defeated, so he doesn't have a crisis of confidence issue. He is just now trying to calibrate, regroup, and come up with a strategy. Again, this is why I'm leaning towards them losing the War Games match. Because how else is Roman going to gain humility? If everything goes his way and the family gets back together, it's like it doesn't do anything. He's got to come to that final point. That ain't happened yet. I don't know what it is, but I think him losing the War Games match would definitely do it. But I don't know. It's an early prediction. We'll see.
Ambassador, Mr. Ambassador, go ahead, sir.
Um, we just did a lot right there, but I know we were talking about the story. Is it being too short? It's not. I mean, the story's been going on for a couple years now, but as far as this part of the saga, I think it's just fine. And like the professor was saying, yeah, we basically got 10 episodes to do whatever we need to do. And if we notice, right now, they're doing a lot of invasion stuff. Not invasion, but they're doing some cross branding right now because people just showing up on shows. But we know that's to promote stuff, even Crown Jewel and all that, because they're gonna use Crown Jewel as a bridge too. So we can really say 11 shows. You see what I'm saying? So that's cool. As far as Roman and his sincerity, um, to me, he's on his apology tour, and I like the sincerity that they had last week when he acknowledged Jimmy. He had the crowd acknowledge him because he's never done that before. So that was different, but it was cool. Like I liked it because that's not something you see often. And then I believe it was sincere when he told Jay that he was proud of him because he almost didn't get a chance to say it to him until he grabbed him by the arm. You know what I'm saying? Now, the part with Solo, it was that was sarcasm. That when there was no sincerity there. He, just like Ron was saying, he was just trying to get he was he was just trying to get through it. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's like, hey, when we gotta apologize, when we know our old lady wrong, but we gotta apologize, and we just do it to get through it. That's what that was. that I figured
That's
we all
definitely
could relate to that at some point. So that's why I use that analogy. But but yeah, so that's how it came off.
Hey,
And it was no different than I'm apologizing. Well, I don't believe you being sincere. And if you don't really apologize, and then you raise your voice like Roman did, and then it's a whole nother argument, and that's what happened. And I said when it was just them two out there, I said, oh, if this go wrong, they already got Jimmy, and they did already have him. Like I saw that part coming, and I was like, maybe they're gonna get saved, and then they didn't get saved, but they don't need to get saved right now because in the lore of wrestling, the baby faces should not be getting saved all the time. We don't get a chance to see Roman Reigns vulnerable. So this is gonna continue for a while because even when SmackDown went off there, I was like, I don't care for the end. It was kind of predictable, but these endings need to happen because you need to get tired of seeing Roman get beat down because we saw him up for so long. Now you need to see him get beat down because that's what a babyface is. The babyface gets beat up, and then they have their triumphant moment. So I'm all for it, and I'm all for the fact that both of them keep getting beat down because they're outmanned, outgunned, outnumbered, and it's just and outmuscled right now. So to me, it's a good thing. That way, when reinforcements do come, it's gonna be fine. No different than when Kevin Owens finally decided to team with Sammy at WrestleMania to fight the Usos. Like it didn't happen right away. They built up to it, and when it did happen, it was fantastic. So even when Roman and Jimmy hugged each other at Bad Blood, fantastic moment. And they weren't even that far apart from each other. But this one is going to be even. It's like they keep building up to the reuniting of everybody, and they giving it to you piece by piece. This is classic wrestling. I'm just gonna give you a little bit at a time. We can't give you the whole plate right now because if you get the whole plate, you're gonna be full too quick and you're gonna get up from the table. No, we want you to stay at the table, so we're gonna keep feeding you piece by piece to give you what just a little bit, just a skosh. And then by the time you get hungry again, boom, we'll feed you again, and you stay at the table. You don't want to get up. You want to stay and watch. So I appreciate what they're doing. And as long as I hope they start seeing color real soon. But I I just had to say it. But but I like where this is going. I like it.
I want to say two things there, RC. I saw your hand, bro. Let me just say this real quick, and because you're talking about Roman getting beat down, which has happened multiple times in the last since he returned, right? The most we've seen in a long time. And Jacoby, you kept talking about the table. Who sits at the head of that table, huh? Huh? But
Paul
he's talking about the table, eating at the table, right? hey, hey, but all good. But I agree with what everyone said. I do think we're right on track. I do think I just want to say I do think Roman was genuine as well there. It's just to the point, but only enough that he wants to be. I don't think he wants to do any more than what he said. You know what I'm saying? In his mind, that should be enough what he said to get you to come on over here. Because the question remains though, and Ron, I'm going to you in a minute here, but did Jay make it clear that he wasn't going to join them? But Ron, I know you want to say something. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, I was going to interject this right quick. I know we all, we feel like it's building up to Jay will eventually get back with him, and I was saying Sammy will be that fourth guy. But we think Roman might say to Jimmy on one of these episodes, your brother ain't coming back. I'm seeing that right now. So we got a lot of family. So I'm going to bring someone else in if Jay is not going to be here for us. And that's where Hikuleo could come in and talk, if y'all know who that is, it's, one of the tallest Samoans it is. So I'm not tall he is, but he be in New Japan. But I think he's already said, a lot of people saying he's already signed, I believe. So they just trying to find a way to interject him or get his debut going. So that could be an option. I think everybody would rather see Roman, Jimmy, Jay, Sammy, and let that be the group. But who said it can't be 5 on 5? I don't know who Solo would get after that, but a lot of people would think Zilla.
I was about to say he might get Numaga. Numaga.
Yeah, Numaga. But that's a way it could go. And Roman saying we can't get Jay. I mean, it's a lost cause. I tried my way. Now I'm gonna bring some other family that I know is on my side.
Well, they just signed back Armando.
Well.
Oh, I ain't hear about that one.
Yeah. Me neither. I ain't hear about that either.
Yeah, they
I brought that up like some time ago though.
They just signed back Armando.
Alejandro. It's about I haven't heard the name in so long. I went to a show dressed as him one time.
I remember that. It was in Colombia too.
Yeah.
I remember that.
I can see it. Front row for that one.
I need front row for that. Oh, I need Armando.
Yeah. It was my favorite at the time. But anyway, but you were saying, Jacob. Go ahead, finish what you were saying.
Oh, good.
So I want to say.
Okay.
Go ahead, Professor. What you were saying?
Well, I want to say, I hear where you're coming from. Roman may do that, and that does make sense. That sounds like a good idea for Solo, because now you mention it, now it kind of gives me more of a thought of that's how they'll win that War Games. A fifth unknown man, who's not even part of the match, it's only 4 people, but a fifth unknown man who somehow jeopardizes the team OG Bloodline from winning, that could be the other Fatu. I ain't gonna lie to you, call me weird. Maybe I'm drawing lines of the family I'm not part of. But I feel like the Fatu side of the family, Roman doesn't really affiliate himself with. Because that was one of the key things Paul Heyman kept talking about, how this side of the family is dangerous. Even Jay alluded to that. These guys, man, listen, we like them. We go to cookouts, but, them cousins we don't really mess with like that. They be on that other stuff. It feels like that's what it is. But I don't know. You could be right. He could bring in, and they could bring in the other. But that sounds like something Solo would do as an insurance policy to make sure he does win. And that's what makes that bloodline even more dangerous. Now you're really outnumbered, Roman. What are you going to do? Oh my God, I'm going to have to call on Cody again. I don't know.
Oh Lord.
Oh, hey, look,
Oh no.
I'm just
I
overbooking now. I don't know.
yeah, yeah.
Nah. Cody
I'm
gonna
not
be
saying,
he.
he'll do that. I'm not saying he'll do that. I'm just like, he's going to start pulling straws. I'm like, got to find somebody.
I hear you.
I think with that, the possibilities are endless with this because we saw. Because let's think about this. They mentioned, the wise man in the backstage promo. Like if the wise man were here, this would be done now, right? So
Really?
what is the wise man doing right now? You know what I'm saying? We know he sees what's going on. You don't think Roman's talking to him too? Right? Especially after they put him through a table like that? You don't think he's working overtime? This man's been working with that family for years and years. You know what I'm saying? You don't think he's doing some major things there as well? Like when does he return? You know what I'm
That's it.
saying? When does he return? Right? So I mean, think about how it ended. Jimmy got beat down at the end of SmackDown. Man, he had the marks on his face, like same person. And Roman was helpless. He couldn't do nothing because he ended up getting beat down. And I thought the way that Solo waited to give him the spike, I thought we was waiting for somebody else to come out.
Yeah.
Because he took some time with it. And I'm thinking he gonna like hold it up like this, and then next thing you know, somebody's music hits and he drops it. You know what I'm saying? Nah, he got that straight spike, man. So where do we go from here? Like let me just ask it like this. After that, is that the straw that breaks the camel's back, so to speak? And if and when we would see the wise man. Go ahead, Jacoby. Let's start with you on that.
I don't know but see, that's if my answer is ever I don't know to something, that makes me happy. Because you could bring him back now. But I think when he comes back, he's gonna turn on Roman. That's just my personal opinion. And so
Man.
yeah, so
Wow. Boy, talk about a man defeated. He's everybody.
right, because
That's
what
heavy. Okay.
again, the baby face is always at odds, and you can't put him at. He already at odds by being outnumbered. But if you take his wise man away from him, and we know, despite any differences they always had, they always came back together. You take him. What is he? Now, that's when he goes from being in danger to being in pure peril. Peril is a lot different than danger. You know what I'm saying? So he goes into being in peril at that point, and you could bring him back now, but I realistically don't expect to see him till Survivor Series. Hopefully, I'm wrong because I enjoy that character, but I don't think he comes back till Survivor Series.
After he comes back in the next 5 weeks, within the next 5 weeks, because like you said before, Jacoby, they're doing piece by piece.
Yeah.
And it's all building up to Survivor Series. And we'll see what happens after Survivor Series. But if he does, on the other hand, like you were saying, if Paul Heyman does turn on Roman, will he be justified? Because Roman, I've been calling you since WrestleMania. Where were you when I was getting put through that table and being tortured for all those weeks? And this and that. I still stay loyal. Solo tried to get me to call him a tribal chief. I still defy him in his face with everybody right there for you. And I still got put through a table, and you didn't come out to save me. So in a way, he could be justified if he does do that. But I still feel like he comes back in the next, few weeks before Survivor, at least after Crown Jewel. After Crown Jewel, that's when everything really gonna kick off.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm waiting on it.
Go ahead, Professor.
Yeah, well, after listening to all that, after Survivor Series, after War Games, if he comes back, it's going to be after. Because RC makes a very valid point that I did not think about. When Jacoby says Paul Heyman will turn on Roman, I thought, wow, that'd be a twist. But then when RC went on his point, it's like, well, that wouldn't be a twist. That would actually make sense. Why should Heyman come back even for War Games? Like, in that point, you would have to decide, what are you coming back to do? Help out Roman or to defeat the other bloodline? And in the end, what do you get from it? As far as I'm concerned, this guy could be talking to CM Punk right now, coaching him up for another world title run. He could be probably on the phone with Braun Breaker right now, trying to get over the road or even coach him possibly. I don't know. Now that you mention it, he may not come. That could be another reason why this OG bloodline loses. So now you got the outnumbered probability. You have the lack of a wise man probability. Dude, Heyman, I'm going to stick to it. Heyman's not coming back if he comes back after War Games. Because Roman's got to be defeated. He's got to lose, and he's got to lose it all.
Well, I like each take, but I want to throw something else there to think about.
Mm-hmm.
So it was mentioned, I think Professor said earlier in the show that the War Games, whatever way it goes, this is not going to be the end.
No.
It's not going to be the end. Because remember, we still got to, later down the road, we still got to explain the Wise Man. We got to explain The Rock coming back at Bad Blood.
Yeah.
We got to explain these different things, which we probably won't get The Rock until early next year. Potentially, you know. But nonetheless, we are thinking that this is going to lead to Roman and Rock at Mania, potentially. There's other options out there, obviously, and that may, what we may think be the end there, may be the beginning of something else. But I want to throw something at you here. Okay, let's say that Roman gets pinned by Solo at War Games, right? Let's say that happens. As a matter of fact, let's say like this. That'll be good, right? But what if they go 1-on-1 at Crown Jewel? Because ain't no other matches were booked for that right now.
That sounds better. I like that idea better. I think if that would have happened at Crown Jewel, Solo's winning that match. Roman's not taking the pin at War Games. It's going to be someone else taking the pin, and they're going to feel bad about it, and that's going to lead to probably a sub story. But if Roman and Solo meet at Crown Jewel, Roman's got to lose that match too.
But why? But why though? I want to challenge that one.
Oh, because it's not so much why is because again, Roman still has to lose a lot. The real question becomes how. Again, I do think it's going to be some form of interference. That interference could lead to Jay coming to an idea that maybe I should join because something ain't right in this motion. I like how Jacoby said Crown Jewel's used as an 11th episode. Because, yeah, you could use Crown Jewel to help vehicle this since everything is kind of on a pause for Crown Jewel to some degree. So, yeah, I can see that being a situation where some bloodline interference costs Roman the match because Jimmy's not enough. Maybe Jay looks at this and comes to a different conclusion on Raw. Maybe Sammy forewarns this to Jay. And when he sees it happening, he's like, okay, Sammy was right. There can be a lot of factors into it. But again, Roman has to lose because for 4 to 5 years, he's been on top. A single loss at a Mania ain't good enough because he won his comeback match with Cody. Roman has to lose. He don't wrestle that much anyway. I'll say he has to lose for the rest of the year. He wins nothing. Next year is the turnaround, but like the apology tour, Humble, all of that. Dude, how long did it go? How long did Job go through it? Yeah, we're going to just give Roman part of that at least.
Did you compare Roman to Job?
Roman had it all and he lost it.
Hey, we want to know what you think in the comments. Hey, Professor, you went there. Goodness. Hey, man, that's a whole other.
It was eventual. I was going to get there eventually because he has to lose everything. And again, well, of course, Joe, he displayed he displayed a sense of humility, but he was never that egotistical. But nonetheless, Roman, he's got to come to a level. He's got to come to that level of I am the tribal chief, but with that comes a sense of responsibility, leadership, and understanding. Before he ruled through an iron fist, now he's got to rule with a golden heart. I went there. I hate I went there, but I got to counteract it. So, yeah.
Well, he's a face now, so he has to. He's going to change. He said to the same person, but I will remind you, you're the same person. But that old tribal chief wouldn't have just handed the belt over to Cody at Bad Blood.
Well, the old tribal chief was been champion. That's why he wouldn't have handed the belt over. He would have been the champion. That's why.
Hey, Professor, you are absolutely right. But at the same time, we know he wants that title.
Oh yeah.
So he can still handing it over like that. Come on, man. Right?
No, because look, Roman at least he respects Cody because he won. Look, Cody, for 500 years and 600 days and 700 nights, whatever long he was champion, ain't nobody been able to pin me. So you did it, Cody. I gotta give you that. I respect you because this is still yours. But trust and believe, when I get these red hot chili peppers from my cousin, I'm coming for that belt.
Hey, that don't be disrespectful. Not a Red Hot Chili Peppers. Don't disrespect the Ulafala like that.
All right.
Don't
Listen,
disrespect the Ulafala.
all right. One's up for Roman. One's back up for Roman. I'm sorry. One's
Listen,
back up.
listen. I don't think he meant it like that, but I understand what you're saying too, Trump. But yeah, I
Yeah,
understand what you said. I don't think he meant it like that.
for
But my
sure.
point is, ladies and gentlemen, as you can know, just like the last 4 or 5 years, we could talk about the bloodline. Oh, go ahead, Trump. You about to say something?
Yeah, I'm gonna slide this in where Roman really needs to be like Jay. And what I mean by that is Jay, for the whole time, always wanted to keep the family together. Even with interviews and behind the scenes, he said, I'm still cool with Jimmy. And this was built up with him fighting Jimmy at WrestleMania. I'm always have love for Jimmy. Well, if you want to settle this, man to man, we're just gonna fight it out, but we can be cool after this. So he always wanted to have the family together, and that's what that should be what Roman's mindset is, and to move forward with the family. And sometimes, in some ways, it is, but he just doing it the wrong way.
Whoa. Okay. Hold up. Okay. It becomes a question of how do you move the family forward. Roman only knows one way, through me. There still has to be a patriarch. And that's how this family operates. Call it an evil thing or not, but Roman essentially is still going to see himself as head of the table. Is he going about it the wrong way? Yeah, but this is the only way he knows. But this is also the only way this family operates. Because again, it is the only way this thing can really end is if the whole thing is done. No more head of the table. We're all just family. We're all equal. But until that becomes the thing, no, someone has to lead this. Because in the end, it's still, I
Yeah,
don't know. I feel like it's still going to be heels. Good
yeah,
or bad, I feel like that bloodline is still going to be a heel faction way down the line eventually. Right? It's just the nature of this thing.
yeah.
I don't know.
I would just say this. Ladies and gentlemen, we want to know what you think about in the comments as well. Because as you know, with 4 or 5 years worth of content and want to see where it goes and the excitement behind it, as we can talk about it all day. Because there are so many scenarios and so many pieces you can put in place to try to get you to the same location. But at the same time, what do you think? Should Roman humble himself more, or should he still continue to be the tribal chief that we know? Just
No,
as a
that's
Yeah.
face.
there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah.
One more thing, one more little small thing. One more, as far as the live experience, I just want to put it in here. But live thing, Roman walked out by himself after the cameras went off and everything. And like I mentioned before, Sammy had a match after the show. And so I thought they was gonna give Columbia a little moment where Roman was face to face with Sammy, but they didn't do it. Even though when Roman was walking out, and he was all the way, and he went through the curtain or with a Titantron, whatever what you want to say. Sammy was the first one to come out right there, right after him, right after he went back. So I was like, dang, they just missed it. They could have gave it to it, but they just decided not to. They want to save it for TV, I guess, for everybody.
Yeah.
But they could have given us that moment because Sammy came in right after Roman went back. So
Got it.
yeah, it was crazy.
You know, a lot went down in the beautiful city of Columbia, South Carolina. A lot went down. And I would typically want to go back to, I think on both ends of the spectrum here, the tag team division is really heating up for the man and the woman. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we got Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson on SmackDown having a match. And on Raw, they cost they cost some championships to, I believe, the Damage Control.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then we had the debut of the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yeah.
We had that happen. And then we had a triple threat with the Street Profits, DIY, and Pretty Deadly with an interesting outcome. But first, I want to start with the women first, because I think Lash Legend and Jakar Jackson against Jade and Bianca again is money. I think it's money. You know what I'm saying? But I want to start there, Ron. I want to start with you, and then we go to the Professor, then the Ambassador. What did you think about currently the women's tag team title division in WWE?
It's heating up. It's a little heating up. I still feel like Jay and Bianca really don't have contenders, legit contenders for real. I don't see anybody beating them right now. That's why I was saying some shows back. They should hold the belts till after Royal Rumble or something like that, till they build up with them two fighting each other or something like that. That's the only way. That's the only way I see. But I like this exposure that that Last Legend and Jakara Jackson are getting on the main roster. I don't believe I said before. I don't think this is their official call up, but they getting that main roster experience because I feel like both of them still need a little bit of seasoning. Because if you look at the match that Last Legend had with Piper Niven, she was trying. She got to certain spots too early, and it was a little janky. But she still had a lot of good moments that grabbed the crowd behind her. Because when it came out, yeah, they got a little reaction. I reacted because I know everything. I know I watch all the show. I watch NXT like that, and I like Last Legend and Jakara Jackson, but she got more reaction in the match for what she was doing in the match to Piper Niven. But like I said, I still think she needs a little more season than her, and especially Jakara, because Jakara is still like a sidekick to Lash a little bit. Seemed like, but yes, and they match with Bianca and Jay got cut short because of Kevin Owens last week, and that whole situation. So it's good that they kind of build up to another match with Bianca and Jay. But we got surprised because we didn't know that Bianca and Jay was in the crowd the whole time until we saw like a certain moment on the screen, and I had to get a close up because I was like, Bianca and Jay out there, hold on, zoom on them. I had to put them on that camera. I was like, hey, my girl's out there. I was like, okay. And then Jay had a little shortcut. They was out there looking. All right, I ain't gonna go too deep into it, but anyway, they shot a little back and forth with Jakara and Lash. And so like I said, I like the exposure that they getting. And like I said, they need a little more seasoning. But everybody else, I don't see who could be unless, like I say, unless it's like another 3-way tag match, like what happened at Clash at the Castle. That's the only the way Jade and Bianca losing them titles. I don't see nobody else that's a legit contender against them right now.
Go ahead, Professor.
So I like Last Legend to Carl Jackson. I think Last Legend is, how can I put this? Well, fine, I'll say it. She's better than Jade Cargill in the ring. I give her that much credit. And I don't know, that will be, dude, she is. She's way better than Jade Cargill. You see,
Nah,
Jade Cargill has yet to have a real singles match in WWE, I believe. She only had like maybe one or two. Like, she's still being carried by Bianca. It's been a year since the WWE, and I don't know. I feel like she's in the same place she was in the AEW. She should have gone to NXT. She really should have helped hone her skills a little bit more, but I get why she's on the main roster. I do hope that Jakar and Last Legend win the tag team championship. Maybe that can put some steam into the division. But being perfectly candid and honest, get rid of the tag team division. Get rid of the women's tag team division. It's not doing any good. Instead, give the women mid card titles because we talk. Here's the thing: you have Unholy Union. We can't even say Damage Control because most of them are. I'm naming Raw people. Like how many tag team women? Well, I guess it goes to both shows. It's not even a lot. It's always usually just kind of thrown together. Piper Niven, I guess Chelsea Green. I mean, I guess you can do Nia Jackson, Tiffany Stratton if they decide to go forward, just to really solidify their unity. But then you also have Candice LeRae, who's with Indy Hartwell. They're just now kind of coming back. I mean, I guess but I feel like a mid card singles title can benefit the women's division more because then you also have something else for the women to fight for. Because outside of that, right now, the Raw Women's title is being handcuffed by the Judgment Day story, and the Women's Championship is kind of being tossed around in this Tiffany Stratton will they won't they type thing. But Nia Jackson, I mean, I don't know. It's just I'd rather have a mid card title than the Women's Tag Championship. And Lash Legend is good. I think she's better than Jay Cargill. That's it.
Go ahead, Ambassador.
Uh, boy, that professor is right. Um, quite frankly, I'm proud of the work that they're doing with this division. And to be honest, your division is only stronger as their champions are. So right now they have extremely strong champions that look pretty much unbeatable, but we know they're beatable. We just saw Io Sky defeat Bianca a couple weeks ago. The last singles match Jay had, no, it wasn't her last one, but she never got pinned, but she lost to Nia Jax. I mean, like it's doable, but they're as a unit, they're extremely strong, and it's going to make it difficult for anybody to beat them. But that's what you want. It's no different than when Gunther was the Intercontinental Champion. Man, who's going to beat this guy? Who's going to take it? So you want your champions to be strong, because the stronger your champions are, the people that beat them become stars just like that. It's all, you know what I'm saying? Or it's a great boost for them. So I like it. They're trying to elevate the division, because I remember when the belts were no more than just, hey, y'all the champions, and there were no defenses, nothing. It was just the champions. Now you got people gunning for it. You might have some crazy names for some of these groups, but you got groups, you got teams. I do agree that they do need women's mid card titles, which I think that's the experiment. If you notice, they experiment with everything in NXT first, and if it works down there, then they bring it
Oh
up.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah. It's definitely like
um,
the
I think it's just fine. I think they need a women's US and a women's Intercontinental Championship. That'll keep down the cross branding. Because if you're gonna have a draft and have people on separate shows, well, let's keep it like that. Like, let's set the boundary. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember when they first started doing the brand splits, it was a legit surprise when somebody showed up on the other show back then. You know, because it didn't happen that often. So, but I think the tag team divisions are fine. I love the fact that they're building them up, and paying them attention. We know Vince did not care for tag team wrestling. It seems like they're putting the emphasis on tag team wrestling throughout the whole company. So I like the direction it's going.
You know, all fair points, brothers. I would like to say my piece to it is that I now see that they are being a little bit more intentional with the women's division tag team titles, because you're starting to see Jade and Bianca on a lot more things. When NXT was in Chicago and St. Louis, they were there both times. They hosted Bad Blood. They're sitting in the crowd on SmackDown. They're wrestling on Raw. You know what I'm saying? So you're seeing a little bit more emphasis on it. And I think that's the most I've ever seen. Just in those, completely honest, just in the last 3 weeks, I probably think this is the most they've done with those titles since they've been out. And they've been out for almost 6 years now.
6-7 years,
Something like that. Yeah,
Yeah.
because the first WrestleMania, I think they had them WrestleMania 35. They did have them there, but I think they had the inaugural match for them at that Elimination Chamber. I think right before that, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
So now, when you think about that history so far with that, I mean, think about it now. Remember when Ronda and Shayna had the titles? I forgot who the champions were, but they had a match. I think it was Unholy Union, I want to say, and they merged the women's and the NXT women's titles together. And I still don't know today why they did that, because they have much more female talent in NXT right now. I don't know why they did that. So I think now this is the most we've seen, and I think honestly, I don't know him personally, but I think I can say this. I think that's Jade and Bianca's goal. I would think they'd be pushing in the back. Hey, we need to get out there. We need to do all these different things. So even on their socials, they're doing it. Shawn Michaels, hey, NXT, can we be there? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, Ron.
Yeah, you saying that. I think this is what Sasha Banks and Naomi wanted to do. And now Bianca and Jay are finally getting to do that and showcase these titles like they should be. And that's probably part of the reason why Sasha Banks is Mercedes Moné right now.
well, that's part of it. The tag thing, I mean, it was a part of an issue, but keep in mind, in that supposed issue, Sasha was going to be in a premier title match. Sasha would tell you that her biggest issue is that she didn't like the way WWE, specifically Vince McMahon, was talking to her, but there was a concern about how the tag titles were working out. I hear everyone what they're saying. It's just still, I don't know, because I don't know. Like, does anyone get excited about the women's tag team championships? Honestly, can you name me all the teams? They don't even really do tournaments. It's just I feel like the division would do better with singles titles and tag titles, because a lot of these teams are just kind of meshed together. You have legitimized teams, the Alba Fire, Outlaw Dawn, Hayden Carter, and Katana Chance, and I say that because they came in as a tag team. They might have had singles history in NXT, but for the most part, most of your other tag teams, if they are on Raw and SmackDown, are just people kind of smashed together. I don't know. I've never been a big fan of those type of tag teams. That's my beef with that personally.
But it's the same with the men's. To be real about it, and you just named all that. But you just named all the tag teams that the women have. You literally just named all the tag teams that they have
I
in the past
know,
2 minutes.
He forgot
but at the same time though, the
be the
men's have
season
singles
selector.
titles. No, it's just the men's have singles titles though. I just rather have a preference. There's a lot of men, so naturally tag team wrestling is a thing. You're gonna have tag team in men's division. I feel as if just with the women's division, it's better to have it singles.
Hey, did you hear
Yeah,
about the let me make sure I say this right. The PFC?
Yeah, the pure
Did you
fusion
hear about
collective.
that?
Oh yeah,
you don't
yeah.
even say it like
Pure
that. Now
Fusion
I'm thinking of
Collective.
KFC. Now I'm hungry.
That's
You
the
know what?
Colonel. That's because
There's
I
some
want the
legitimate.
Colonel.
I
We want the
legitimately like them.
Colonel. And I ain't talking about Robbie Parker. That's because I want the Colonel.
Right.
Ah.
But BD, I do hear what you're saying.
We get that 3-piece plus a
But
biscuit.
I understand those are the teams. I mean, you have to have because that's that's at least 6 or 7 teams that you named just on the show alone, and that's probably all they're gonna need.
Yeah, but I feel like they
Not to
need.
mention the teams in NXT. So, because they can go they can go through all
Exactly, and
3
that's why.
brands.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
agree.
and
It's not for
I
me.
like that's how I like it to be. They didn't go to all 3 brands and show why they are the women's world tag team champions because we going to every brand and beating everybody. So we deserve these titles. That's what I like.
Yeah, I agree. So,
And that's how the men's was before they separated them. But they have, we saw with this, they have a tournament on Raw for the men's, and they had one for SmackDown too, with the 2 triple threat matches they had on SmackDown, triple threat tag team matches. So both rosters are deep. They just ain't not being used as much. So hopefully Triple H is kind of correcting that right now with these tournaments and showcasing who he is in this division for both men's and women's.
okay.
And so it's getting a little more interesting than it has been in the past.
All right. Last thing to say to this. I hear your tournaments, I hear your triple threat matches, but then what? They did this last time. This is the thing with tag team wrestling. And maybe this is why Vince, I don't want to say was right, but has the opinion he has a tag team wrestling. There's only so many ways you can book it at some point. There's always tournaments and there's always something that people be like, oh, it's exciting. And then when that dust settles and the champion's a crown, then what? Usually nothing. It just goes settled again, and then the complaint about tag team wrestling pops up. So I hear what you're saying. I'm not denying it. But specifically for the women's, because this is what I'm talking about, not the men's tag team, I am saying separate those belts, make them singles titles. Because let's just say 2-3 months from now, what are we going to speak about in the women's division? Is it going to be the tag titles? Maybe, but I'm not going to hold my breath and say that's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can get that. Jacoby, you want to add anything before we kind of move to the next?
Yeah, nah,
We're gonna
man.
talk about more tag team wrestling, but I want to see if you want to add anything.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm all for adding the women's singles mid card titles, but don't get rid of the tag titles. You want people to have something to fight for, and if they got in a tag team division, you really only need about 8 or 9 tag teams, to be honest. Clearly, they got enough tag teams for these divisions. If you can have tournaments and you can have 2 triple threat tag team matches, because that's what's that 6 people right there. So with 3 teams, and then of course with the women's tag team titles, like we were saying, they go to all 3 brands. So you can give me 3 teams on each brand, and you got a whole division. And you actually got more than that on each show. So no, I think the tag team division is fine. And the way you book tag team wrestling is a tried and true formula. You can have tournaments, you can have these quick tourneys like the triple threat matches, but you get credible champions first. Then you find credible challengers. Then if the challengers win, you rinse and repeat. And sometimes you throw a upset in there, like a 1-2-3 kid type upset over the champions. Like it's ways to book tag team wrestling. What I like about this new regime is that they're exercising all these options. They're not just sticking to that same thing. They're doing different things because okay, perfect example, WrestleMania 20. They had 2 tag team title matches defended in the same exact format. They didn't try to do nothing different. They defended both sets of titles in the same exact format. At least here they say, hey, we're gonna do a whole tournament on Raw, and we're gonna do some. Then on SmackDown, we're gonna do some triple threat matches. So yes, it's still tag team wrestling, but they're going about different ways, doing different things because they're different shows. So I'm perfectly fine with what they're doing as far as the tag team division is going, and especially with the women because it's showcasing more women.
I like that too. I want to add that I do. I understand what you're saying to Professor about the things and how they just, it's like they can keep trying things with it and kind of just let it just kind of fade away. I get that too, but I think they should keep going because I have a good feeling about this one because I think it has the correct star power behind it now. And I think with that and then them wanting to work with younger talent right now to help it, I think that's going to how to escalate it to the next level. But in continuing in that vein, I want to kind of jump over because we kind of tiptoed in it not too long ago as well. I want to talk about the men's division specifically as well because I know we had the Motor City Machine Guns debut. We'll get to that. But I want to talk about the match that started the show, if I'm not mistaken, the Street Profits, DIY, and Pretty Deadly. Now, DIY wins the title. But wins the championship opportunity. But I want to kind of focus on how it ended. Because we've been talking for weeks and weeks and weeks. You hear it all the time. One of the key components is will Montez split and go to be a single superstar? And I believe a couple of weeks on this show, we were talking about that being a possibility, and Dawkins actually would be all right if he did it as well, right? So I want
Exactly.
to talk about specifically how the match ended because DIY, I think it was Tommaso Ciampa. He was pinning one of the, I can't remember which Pretty Deadly guy it was.
Yeah, the
He was the
double
legal
pin.
man. Yeah.
That's right.
But then Montez gets up thinking he won the match. And it's
Yeah.
his Montez way. Yeah, doing the whole, doing that whole thing, right?
You're flexing.
Yeah.
That's right.
But you notice, let me say it like this. If I remember correctly, y'all keep me honest, he didn't really flip out like that once the match was over.
No, no,
He was like,
He was in shock.
another
That's
one?
why.
Yeah, another one, right? Another L. So my thing is, from that point then, what does that mean? I know we talking about, DIY, congratulations, you won, but we about to talk about the profits right now. You know what I'm saying? But what is that? What does that mean now? Is somebody get ready to turn around? Are they about to, all right, man, this ain't working out, bro. Peace. Well, I mean, somebody talk to me. Tell me, what does that mean now? Is that a sign of things to come? Are we going to get the singles pushes now? What is that? What is RC? Tell us what's going to happen there.
And like I said, being there live, I actually thought I was surprised that the Street Profits didn't win, and we had to look up in the replay, and we needed that replay. It was like, what exactly happened just now? Because we could have sworn Street Profits won that, but they pinned the illegal man, and DIY paid more attention, and they got that victory.
I loved it.
So that's why they won.
Yeah.
But it's very surprised. I think everybody in the crowd was surprised. Being there, everybody in the crowd was like, oh, dang, because everybody was cheering for Street Profits because Street Profits got way more of a reaction than anybody else in that match when they came out. So people were cheering for Street Profits. Afterwards, I was like, man, yeah, like you were saying, Lonnie, another loss. I thought something might happen. Like, I don't want to see them turn on each other, but it's gonna come down. They're gonna have to have a talk because they in the back of the line again. So where can you go? We keep losing. They ain't had a tag team championship since what, 2021 maybe?
Yeah.
I think that's what they said.
Oh,
and so
championship?
a tag team championship, yeah. So it's like, bro, how long we gonna keep doing this? And like I said, both of these guys can be good on their own. Montez can be good on his own, and if they do one of them do a heel turn, it needs to be Dawkins because Dawkins and B-Fab can push it forward with them two, and Montez can be by himself, be that baby face that everybody loves and do the high flying moves and this and that. Dawkins can be, the heel and got B-Fab on the side, cheating for him on the outside, being that manager, and that's how. And he already has personality himself, and so that's how they could do it if they plan to go that route. But like I said, SmackDown really needs a draft bad to me. So I feel like it would be better if they just go to separate shows and do it like that. But if they want to get something out of it, and have them turn on each other. They know each other. They have chemistry. Great partners. Better, the enemy and great enemies. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'm saying, you know how to go. And
Yeah.
so, and that's the way they can do it. Because B-Fab got to do something. And that's the way Angelo Dawkins get over with that, get that heat. So that's just the way it can go. Because I mean, they've had all the tag team titles. I mean, we know they're a great tag team. They just ain't had it in this long time. They can't get it right for like 2-3 years now. 3 years since they ain't had tag team titles since 2021. So yeah, it's time to move on. Get them singles runs going.
Let me ask this before we go to the professor. Let me ask this: if they don't split them, then what?
They gonna be running in place like they're doing now.
Now he's hit down the hamster wheel. Oh no!
They gonna continue to get the reaction like they got when we was there. Like we heard it. We heard the reaction they get. Everybody loves the music. Because they remember they changed their music, so they went and now they went back to the old music for them. And so everybody likes it. They get hype off of that. I was hyped. I was up. Yeah, but that's just me. I just love being there and dancing. I was doing all the things. I love the Street Profits, but I also recognize that they stagnant. They not moving. They in the same place. So something got to give.
That's booking.
Well, Professor, before you go, I just want to say two things. One's a joke for funny, and one is something else. You talk about, I think WWE recognizes that they are hype. You know what I'm saying? Meaning that the people do love when they come out, because for us watching at home, they didn't even show I think they didn't show Pretty Deadly or DIY come out on TV. They only showed the Street Profits.
Really? Interesting.
So,
man, they didn't feel pretty deadly with the disco ball.
Nice.
nah, bro.
Yes,
Nah,
The
they
disco
took
ball
that.
had me- I was like, what? They had the disco ball? I ain't
Hey,
never seen that. Maybe I just missed it before. They had a disco ball out there. I was like, yo, that's dope.
hey,
For them.
only y'all got that Saturday Night Fever treatment. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man.
It's going
But
from.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
hey,
I
but
enjoyed that.
before Professor go, I was going to say, well, Dawkins can't wear that headband no more. That never lost no more, because the way things been going, you know what I'm saying? He can't wear that right now. You know what I'm saying? The way things going, it's coming up. Them L's racking up.
But they
There they
didn't
are.
get pinned though. They didn't get pinned.
Oh, no, they didn't. And you know what? That's something I gotta admit I really liked about that finish, because it was, you gotta pay attention type thing. I'm always getting on about referees not doing their job correctly. Well, unfortunately or fortunately, this referee did their job correctly and knew who the legal person was, so I gotta give credit to that. As far as the Street Profits go, hey man, listen to RC go about them. It sounded like he was John Moxley slamming a hammer on Tez's forward hand, saying you've been in the same place you've been for the last 3 years. You need a fire up your stomach, whatever. But no, you're right. Just for context, I know you say 2021. To really put that in perspective, the last time the Street Profits were champion, it was a Thunderdome era. That feels like it was 1,000 years ago. It was a Thunderdome era. The last time they were champions. I do think a split of some sort would be good for them. We talked about this before on the show, how Montez seemed like he was on the cusp of a singles run, and it just got stagnant and it stopped, and he was back in the tag team division. We talked about how the Street Profits had a thing going with Bobby Lashley, and it was stop and go, and it was stop and go. It's like, to some degree, I don't know, does WWE even know what they want to do with the Street Profits? That's my question. That's kind of the thing I've always been wondering, because we all know that they're over. We all know that they are really athletic and talented. We all know they have charisma. They check every single box that even Mr. Yeatman checks, but I don't know what it is. I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but they are plateauing. They are.
Go ahead, Mr. Master.
I don't see nobody turning off this. I thought that was an excellent finish to the match, because it's not a finish that they use too often.
Yeah, I did like that.
I like the finish because it makes it put the emphasis on the actual rules of tag team wrestling, which is why I say I like how they're putting an emphasis on the division altogether, not just with the talent, but how some of these matches work. So to me, because I'm not gonna belabor the point, I really liked it. And I like the fact, that the Street Profits didn't even get pinned. I would say he wasn't so upset about how the match ended because he was so shocked at how the match ended. He was in shock about what just happened, so he couldn't believe it. But I mean, when I found out that the Machine Guns was going to be in the building, I knew who was winning this tag team match already. I was like, well, DIY needs to win because a match between DIY and the Guns is going to be a frenzy. And so like I said, but I like to see the Guns versus the Profits too. So it's a lot of ways we can go. I don't think they're breaking up right now. I just don't see it happening. If they gave it to us, that's cool too, but I don't see the point in it. I think they're gonna get put back on top eventually. It's just that everything is in a reset mode and we restarting now because they already reset. Now we just restarting. So I'm good with it right now. And now, as long as they didn't get pinned, I was fine.
Well, I I can see that too. For me personally, I'm gonna wait and see.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping they do address it next week. Not just let it go into another. Let's get another type of title shot, or they come in the back saying, "Oh, people must forgot about us." No, you forgot about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, because you know what I'm saying. We don't need to see that again. Let's address the situation. That's the one thing we never did. I think we never had them really address the situation because they done been with Bobby, now they're with B-Fat, they done been here, they done been there. You know what I'm saying? Like we never really, they never sat down and really talked about it. You saw the looks on their faces, but they never. I can't remember now of them ever having a promo of any kind stating the obvious to the fans. Like, this is not. We say we want the smoke, and we're getting the smoke, but we're not causing any fires. So you know what I'm saying. Something needs to change here. You know what I'm saying. So that's my only take on it right now. But fellas, I want to kind of go. We kind of alluded to him. What was the atmosphere like for Ron G and Professor? What was the atmosphere like when the Motor City Machine Guns came out? What was that like?
No pop.
Oh, I have
No pop. No, seriously, no, seriously speaking, it was not a huge reaction. It was very mild, and I mean that's to be expected. WWE fan, no. Listen, I was sitting in front of a kid who didn't know who Pete Dunne was, and I mean this is like someone who's at least in high school, at least well maybe upper middle school. I Going to the live shows is a unique crowd, and some of them don't know a lot of people outside of what they see on the TV. So I'm pretty sure they wouldn't know who Motor City Machine Guns are. But it wasn't a huge reaction. It just wasn't. No
Yeah,
pop.
it wasn't like the biggest reaction, but I mean, some people did know who they were, and I'm pretty sure the people in our maybe age range, because coming from TNA, they was hot back then in TNA. That was what early
Yeah,
2000s,
that's about
They're
30,
early to
still
20,
late
hot.
20 years
2000s.
ago.
Well, hold on. They are still hot amongst those who are wrestling fans. But that's the no. Don't say 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Machine Guns showed up at AEW. They'll probably blow the roof off in AEW.
yeah.
But
I mean, but they were there for a hot second, and that's the crowd for them. This is WWE, so they're not going to be as familiar with them. A lot of us are like the people who reacted that night in Columbia. They know who they are. Those who watched back then. Those are the fans who watched back then.
What I will
But
say,
I mean, they showed off in the match they had in their debut. Showed off all the moves that they've been doing for years that people haven't seen before, and it was exciting.
well,
yeah,
what was
Now it was just a lot of chaos in the triple threat.
right now what they did on TV
Go
that
ahead.
they did, what they was doing on TV that they didn't do, that y'all didn't. Now commentary, this is what commentary is super important in these situations. So Corey Graves was putting these dudes over major. And I listen, sometimes it's propaganda, it's just what they gotta say. But what he was saying was the absolute truth. He said these guys are your tag team's favorite tag team. He said this. He was saying the style of wrestling that you see now from tag teams, these guys are more or less the originators of it. Like they brought this style out, and he's not. I agree with that statement 1,000%. The Motor City Machine Guns was my dudes back in the day. As a matter of fact, they were on after I had my first match on a Saturday night, and then I went to a TNA pay-per-view the next day, and this is in 08 when I debuted. So they were killing in TNA back then, and probably 4 years prior to that. So yeah, I would say about 20 years. These guys are amazing, and they went in there And a lot of those moves, some people saw for the first time. I said, but I was like, oh, this is their move set. Like they know this, you know what I'm saying? And like no, but I was glad to see it because they're one of my favorite tag teams. I love the Motor City Machine Guns. I always have. Both of those guys split up, had single successes in different places, but as a team, they are hard to compete with. And Corey Graves, they like. If y'all go back and watch the show, I know because we know Ron has got to be there live. But if you go back and watch the show, not just the highlights, not just the highlights, watch
Oh wow, don't
watch
do
the
that to him.
watch the show.
Hey, I like so great. That's what they did for. It's still a great thing.
But Corey Graves did an excellent job putting those guys over, and it was a great introduction. If they didn't know who they were, he really helped put them over. But yeah, those dudes are dope. I think it's way overdue that they got there, but I think a lot of the reason why they didn't come was because of how tag team wrestling was presented during the McMahon era, and now that that's over,
Too small. They were too
you know,
small.
see,
They were too small. They were too
stop it,
small.
you sassy.
Why do you think DIY never made it up there? Why do you think DIY never made it? They were too small. Vince doesn't like midget wrestling. He doesn't. Vince, you know, we all know Vince is crazy. Vince is
Wait a
crazy.
minute. You can't say that because you watch WrestleMania 3. I mean, I'm leaving it at that. But anyway,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Well,
saying?
listen, Hornswoggle was his illegitimate son, so I guess I should be careful with that, huh?
No, man.
You remember that?
Man, you own it. You got some personal shots tonight, Professor.
He just signed a
I
Legends
don't like
deal
Vince
too.
McMahon. I don't know. Is that a couple shot?
Hey,
Oh, Vince
Oh,
McMahon.
really?
Yeah,
Oh,
Hornswoggle.
Hornswoggle.
He just signed a
yeah,
Legend deal as well. Him and Estrada signed around the same time.
Hey,
Okay.
you know Jesse Ventura. Jesse the Body Ventura signed a legend deal. Jesse Ventura signed a deal with WWE. At some point, people thought he'll never want to communicate with that company again.
there's a
Well,
lot going on there.
Yeah, but that's off topic.
That's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
But you know, I think this is a very good discussion because I don't think a lot of people really that I've seen out there really talk about the tag team division in the E. That is, you know, not in the WWE right now enough. And I mean, think about this. Think about what happened on. You talk about Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell earlier, Professor. Think about now they had it kind of how they inserted her with Nia Jax this past week
Yeah.
for whatever reason. You know what I'm saying? So and she got the pinfall. So like
And she got the win.
something's gonna have to happen there, right? Go ahead, Crump. I know you waiting like
hey, I don't get out and put out that. Like, I was talking to BJ while we was at the show. I was like, Candice LeRae. I was like, is she gonna get beat up by somebody else? I mean, what's going on? I thought they're gonna put somebody else out there with Nia. But and then she got the victory over Bailey. I was like, what? No way.
I loved it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think it's gonna lead to Nia replacing Tiffany with Candice LeRae and Indy. I guess she's gonna be right there too. But she replacing Tiffany with them.
Okay.
Because Nia was surprised and shocked and had that look on her face. So, but I think she gonna keep them in her back pocket in case Tiffany acts up and don't go through with the plan of cashing in on Liz.
you know what? That could be facts right there. That could be facts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I think is leading.
Any more comments on this particular? Go ahead. Any more comments on this topic?
Yeah, last thing. Yeah, with the Candice LeRae ordeal, I do think so. Two things. First, with the Nia, if she does take Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, I could see her starting a Queen's Court type stable that also includes Tiffany Stratton for whatever reason to help maintain and try to keep order in the women's division that she feels as if she's queen of. I, on the other hand, I guess I'm thinking about last time I saw Candice LeRae on TV. Candice LeRae, last time I saw her on TV, was trying to be more heelish and trying to convince Indy Hartwell to be heel with her and trying to, do heel things. That came out to me as just trying to be the best you can be without doing the right thing. I guess I'm saying all that to get to the point that I think Candice LeRae may be also trying to intercept in the Tiffany Stratton Nia Jax thing, because somewhere down the line she may feel as if she'll get a world title shot, if just not the world title, if she stays close to this faction. I think she may be doing it for her own benefit, while Nia keeping her on her side for her own benefit. Everyone's kind of plotting against each other.
You know, I would say this too, and then I turn it over to the floor one more time on this topic. But something to think about. We don't have to talk about it right now, but something to think about. All these different back and forths we're having with the women jumping the show because of Liv and Nia going into the crown jewel. All these
Yeah.
different things. We are so focused on the men's War Games match that we never even thought about what happened with the women.
That's well because
That's
I honestly wasn't even sure they're going to do one this year. That's my thing. 'Cause I don't know what storylines there are.
I think we're gonna find out. I think we're gonna find out, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, yeah, okay. So Nia, Indy, Candice, Tiffany, Bailey, Naomi, and insert some other women.
Hey, I ain't saying nothing. I just want to say, I just want to get your wheels spinning. You feel me? I just want to
Oh,
keep your
could be
wheels spinning.
Liv, and well, that means the women's championship would be on the line then, huh? Well, it's War Games.
Yeah.
Liv and Raquel. I mean, granted, everything's convoluted, but you know what? Just have Cody and Gunther defend their titles. And have, you know what? Have Jade and Bianca defend their title.
Yeah.
And then there you go. There's War Games.
Hey, we'll see down the road. Speaking of Crown Jewel, and speaking of Cody defending his titles and Gunther and all these different things, I want to talk about how they gonna pull out this big old title out of car. You know how somebody want to leave the jewelry store, and they have all like 10 people. They have like 10 people kind of like watching over it. I'm thinking to myself, what is in that case?
Yeah. I ain't know what it was. I thought it was like, boy, they getting real dangerous. Is that a rifle? What is going on?
But Kevin Owens,
going
man,
down, going down.
Kevin Owens is a dangerous dude. You got to have a sniper on the roof. Kevin Owens is a dangerous
I was like,
guy.
hold on. We ain't on Netflix yet. We ain't on Netflix yet. Hold on now.
Hey, but what I want to say about it is this. Okay, I'm gonna start with the ambassador on this one. So Cody calls out Gunther, and I think it was a fair promo, another Cody classic type of promo. You know, in terms of like, hey, I look forward to the match. I'm going to win, but I look forward to the match. I respect you, but you're gonna catch this L, right? But my question is this: we gonna talk about the promo and all that, what we think is going to happen. But the ambassador, I want to ask you this: we've seen a lot of action with the women coming on the show, like Liv and Nia coming on each show with the action happening, and Cody and Gunther has just been doing the talking. Do you think, because they brought that title out only for Cody to talk about it? Now I understand business, I'm not trying to be like state the obvious, I understand that. Do you think that match, that title is more focused on the men more so than the women? Or do you think that's just how the placement is on it, potentially? Because Cody was out there talking with the title. We have yet to see that, I believe, Nia and Liv kind of talk about the title per se. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Yeah.
What do you think, Ambassador?
well, Nia was in the room with the title, but she was more worried about where Tiffany was. So that did happen, but she was focused on that tag team match. And I like the physical. You need the physical interaction with the women right now. You need, because you kind of, with that match, you don't know what you're going to get. Cody and Gunther don't have to touch at all into the show because you know that match is going to be extremely physical. Extremely. So that you know what you're going to get. You can wait that out. You see what I'm saying? You can build up through the talking while Cody is going through this situation with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton. Like, that's a whole situation by itself. But of course they're putting, and then it's a show in Saudi Arabia, so of course the focus is going to be more on the men. Like, let's just, like, we know what this is. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So so in Saudi Arabia, them boys paying big dollars to have this show over there every year. So it's not surprising to me that it seems like it's more focus going in on the men's title. But to be fair, they're going to have the women's version of it too. But they're gonna have to be, well, Nia Jax be fully dressed for that show anyway. But you know how they make the women dress for them shows. So I think I believe there is more focus on the men's division. But I like the fact that they're giving the women a chance to be physical with one another, and their stories within the story. because Nia Jax is basically handing Tiffany the world championship on Monday when she attacked Liv. You see what? But it got cut off. Like
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. I don't have a. I don't necessarily have a problem per se with it. I don't know. Like Nia and Liv, that's gonna be a weird match to me. You know what I'm saying? But we'll see what they pull off.
Yeah, yeah. Before you go, Professor, it's always interesting when you have a heel versus heel, and when both of them kind of like doing pretty well. It's always interesting to see how those matches are gonna, you know what I'm saying, like how it's gonna go per se. But yeah, go ahead, Professor.
Well, I don't. Hey, well, what's the question exactly?
We was talking about the Crown Jewel Championship in general. We talked about
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes calls out Gunther in the promo, but I just kind of threw a curveball in terms of like a question: do you feel like more the focus is on the man than the woman for that particular title
Yeah.
match? So
Okay.
I was kind of just getting
Yeah.
the feel for it, and the ambassador made a great point. We know where we're going at. We know what they do over there. So yeah.
No, I get it, and I like the fact that Jacob pointed out that even that was the first time we saw the women's championship. That's for that whole thing, and Nia, like he said, was on the phone with Tiffany, more so concerned about that. And I don't even think Liv has even talked about it. Are they putting? I do think they're putting more focus on the men because that in itself is the money match. Also, for what it's worth, they are going to Saudi Arabia where they have their opinions about women. So they may not even want to be trying to advertise that match anyway between Liv and Nia, except for the American audience. That's probably why it's been that type of booking in that degree. But of course, we all know that I like that Cody and Gunther haven't really had any physical interaction. Both of these guys come out wearing a suit. They both look like they're a little above the approach of just kind of beating the crap out of each other on site or just even in the talks. I am waiting to see if there is any sort of contract signing type thing because I don't know. I'm a fan of contract signings on TV shows. They're usually a pretty good segment, and I would like to see where that goes in a back-to-back, talk off or promo against them. As far as the Liv and Nia section of it goes, a lot of I like the story being told here is that even though the focus isn't the Saudi Arabia title, the focus really is Tiffany. I'm going to set this up for you to cash in. So I can expect some weird interaction where if Nia wins, she's going to want Tiffany to cash in, and for some odd reason she ain't going to be able to, and just to see what happens after that. So I do think it is more of a focus on the men, and I think it's not so much a focus on the women's. The real focus there is the Money in the Bank storyline and what Nia and Tiffany's going to.
Awesome. Go ahead.
Yeah, just like at Bad Blood, that's what like everybody kind of waiting for is Tiffany gonna cash in and who she gonna cash in on? Is that gonna happen? And then we got all these other variables coming in because Rhea could show up, Raquel could be right there. So it's not just it's heel versus heel, but it got a few other factors surrounding it. Then Dom gonna be out there too. So it's a lot of confusion about in the situation. So we don't know. It's hard to say who's gonna really win this match for real because it could be two victories. Like if Tiffany does cash in, and so that's the intrigue of this match, and that's what it's built. That's the build up. So they know that was gonna be, and that's what the crowd gonna go crazy for. So that's why they continue to tease a cash in because they want to build up and see is actually gonna happen at the PLE. So, but like they they're gonna always have that white strap right there, and so they're gonna on that championship. So we knew what it was gonna look like, but that's what they showed in the background in the backstage. So, but we'll see where it goes.
I like every point. I guess I'm just curious because this is a very good topic actually. So we talk about Liv and Nia, and then we talk about all these other heels that's getting involved, Doms and all these different types of things. It's like a heel party, right? And it is different, so you kind of get interested parts of like what's going to happen next once they get in the ring. But I would like to I want to give some props though to Nia Jax because Nia Jax, last time she was there, she became queen of the ring. Now she's coming back as champion.
Yeah.
Going through the same thing. However, I'm talking about Nia now, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we talk about, how the opinions of women over there, but I also heard, through the grapevine that Saudi kind of has a hand in who comes over there because they want to see more major stars.
Yeah.
So if they're seeing her, you know what I'm saying? So to get Nia in that place, I think it's really awesome. So I know we're gonna have predictions later, but I just want to throw that out there. I think, but to the whole overall point, yes, to answer my own question in that terms, along with you guys, yes, I think more emphasis was on Cody and Gunther, and I like what the ambassador said, saying that they don't have to touch. It's going to be physical. I mean, we got a taste of it in the Royal Rumble 2023. You know what I'm saying? We got a taste of it there. Boy, Cody, Cody, welcome back. I mean, that chest was lit up, but you know what I'm saying? But, and I think that's very good. I mean, Cody, well, I missed you, man. Let me talk to you, bud. How you been? Let me talk to you. Hey, how you doing, man? How your family? You know what I'm saying? Like, he was going in on this dude. You know what I'm saying? But my point is that I do think it's more emphasis on that, but to the point that is a money-making match. They do not have to get physical. They do not have to get physical. But I think overall, both matches are going to win in terms of what it's going to stand for as far as that championship goes.
Definitely.
I really do. I really do. But in that same vein of Cody Rhodes, we see this right now is just, we know what's going to happen. You know, this is, I hate to say it like this, although we're looking forward to this match, we know the ultimate thing for Cody right now is to get his hands on Kevin Owens and vice versa. You know, and we also know that Randy Orton is requesting to get his hands on Kevin Owens at Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin Owens has been saying that, hey, you know, they won't let me talk. They cut my mic. They say don't come to work. I'm on social media. I'm gonna release this if they don't say this and that. What's up with KO? Are we liking, you know what I'm saying? As he, you know, he's going to, as a heel, defend his actions in the way. Are we liking what we're seeing with KO right now? Are we wanting to see more? Like, what are we like? What are we feeling right now? What's the pulse on this?
Oh, real quick. I love it. Let me tell you why. Because it's happening the way I thought it's going to happen. People are turning heel on Kevin Owens. Listen, I don't know what that conversation between him and Cody was. But I'm willing to bet Cody was wrong. And that Kevin Owens was right. And Kevin Owens deserved to punch that dude in the mouth for whatever he said. I know that Cody is, dude, like I said, I love Cody Rhodes. When Cody Rhodes came out, you best believe I stood on my feet both times when he made his entrance last night. However, Kevin Owens, I love the dynamic of the story they're telling. I just don't know what it is yet, but I feel as if Kevin wouldn't do things that are illegitimate unless he felt like you just deserved it. That doesn't make any sense what I just said, but I do feel like to some degree Cody deserved whatever Kevin Owens is trying to put on him. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ambassador. Gotcha. Any final comments on this particular topic as well? Because we got more to see on this, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially once it gets physical.
Yeah. Free my boy Kevin Owens. Let that man come back to work and make a paycheck to feed his family. Quit banning him from the build. That's it.
Hey, that reminds me of Don. I think it was Don C. Curry when he was talking about. he was talking about. He's talking about the movie Free Willy. He was talking about Free Willy, free my Uncle Willie.
All right.
Hey, anyway, well, that concludes our discussion on SmackDown. But I kind of want to take a pivot here. There was a hot button. Again, not surprising. We're talking about the Bloodline again. But there was a hot button on something that happened. And that was potentially with Rikishi's comments towards Vince Russo, which was sparked by Vince Russo's comments about Jey Uso's emotional promo about winning the IC championship.
Yeah.
Now, if you watch Rikishi's, like the full-on reaction, Rikishi got gangster. You know what I'm saying? He got gangster. He like, you know, the Fatu, he said, I remember him saying, and remember, I'm a Samoan before I'm a wrestler. You know how we get down. Like, it got to that point. You know what I'm saying? Because this man was talking about his son. So I want to just hear from Ron. We'll start with you, man. What do you think? First of all, let me ask like this. I think I know the answer, but I'm just going to ask. Do we think, this is the first question, do we think Vince Russo is just always talking down because he still misses it? Or something he wants? Or what is, or you think he's just that's kind of where he is right now, unfortunately. And also, what do you think about Rikishi's response? So those are the questions. Why do you think Vince Russo always keeps criticizing it? But everything, really, I don't remember the last good thing he said, to be honest with you. I'm just trying to be funny. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just trying to be real. Because you always hear negative comments. I mean, if you put that's all you put out, that's all I see, right? And then what do you think about Rikishi's response to it? So Ron, we'll go with you, then the Professor, then the Ambassador.
Yeah, I've spoken this before. But with Russo, I just think he puts out hot takes and crazy opinions or negative opinions to be relevant and to get interaction or get headline or whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
And with Rikishi, boy, he been ever since he got a podcast. In another way, he might be the same way. Ever since he got a podcast, and he been talking, he putting stuff out there and almost the same, especially about if it's talking about his family. And with Vince, he don't understand what it takes to get to that certain point what Jey got. When he was speaking on Jey, he's saying it's just a prop and this and that. But as fans, we looking at it as the championships it means everything. I mean, that's what we work for. Jey Uso was a tag team champion for his whole career until recently, and it's his first single championship. And that, you don't think that means something to him?
Right.
You don't think he's gonna soak in that moment and be there with the fans and have that moment with the fans? Like I said, we just said on this show, he's the people's champion. So he's sharing that moment with the people. He immediately, as soon as he won, he immediately went into the crowd, celebrated with the people. So he didn't think he's gonna have to share a moment and be vulnerable in front of the people, especially as a babyface. Your career is kind of depends on those championships. And that's what not just wrestling, any sport.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How many championships did you win? Or what accolade did you get? That's what your career is built off of. And so this will be his first one. Of course he's gonna do that. So for the Vince to downplay it was ridiculous. And for Rikishi's side of it, you downplaying my son, that's on the cake right there. You talking about my family. So he don't have to go threatening and stuff like that. I don't know if it called for that. But he just say, keep my son name out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And so stop talking down about my son or whatever. And you don't know what this means to especially you're not really a wrestler.
Right.
You're the real shock master. You're the real shock master. Because that's what you go off of, shocking takes and opinions. And so I see. Yeah, I mean, that's just how I see it. Y'all go ahead.
Okay, listen. I don't have me defend Vince Russo. He is a former world champion. Rikishi was never that. Can't take anything away from him. That did actually happen. Just want to put that out there. That did happen. But number one, Vince Russo hates wrestling. All right, let's just put it out there. Vince Russo hates the actual professional wrestling side of things and only likes the sensational, story-catching. We lived through the Vince Russo era, good, bad, and different, from WWF to WCW and TNA. And if you look at his booking methods, he cares more about the concept of a story than any actual match. As far as Vince Russo is concerned, a match can last 2 minutes. All that matters is how many people interfered, what was on a pole, and who's getting naked. That's all he really cared about. So for him, this stuff is just props and trinkets and pittance. But it's disrespectful to people who actually put in the effort, the time, and the grind to get these things. All right? These titles are, there's a reason I call them titles. I don't like to call them belts because belts hold your pants up. Titles keep you in status. And these titles are a status in this business, in this industry. Intercontinental Championship, World Championship, United States Championship, International Championship, Ring of Honor Championships. These things mean something in the business, in the industry, in the promotion. So yeah, to say, why would you get emotional? Because you're holding their years of dedicated hard work in the palm of your hand. That is proof, positive effort, unless you're Goldberg, of the effort and time you put into getting a championship. Yeah, I had to take a shot. I don't care.
Yeah. Wow.
You doing straight? Go ahead, Ambassador. I can't. Just go ahead, Ambassador.
I side with Bret Hart on that one. Just like that.
Hey man, like Ron was talking about, bro is just going for the hits and the clicks and the attention, man, and the engagements. And for him not to like wrestling, he sure talk about it a whole lot. So that's what he's doing it for. It's helping with
Red
his
button.
relevancy, but he could have kept this one to himself. Like, um, I hate when people say that. And like being a performer, I hate hearing people say that because it's such a disrespectful thing to say. Or it's a prop. It's this. It's that. Nah, bro. It's more. It's so much more than that because you got to be put in that position to even be that title, to have that championship. Like it means so much. Uh, I had a whole party at my house after I won my first heavyweight title. Ron was there. He was there. Yep.
Yep.
So you know what I'm saying. After I won my first heavyweight championship back in 2012. I had a party at my apartment. Sure did, because it meant the world to me to win my first championship, my first heavyweight championship, because the first title I won was the NWA North Georgia title, and that was cool, but it wasn't nothing like being the heavyweight champion. So when people try to come to me with that, it doesn't mean anything. You a lie, bro. It means everything because you got to work for that. You putting your body on the line for that. Just to hold on to a gold plated belt with leather, bro. You sacrificing it. Well, I don't sacrifice. I invest. I invested so much time and money and effort into that situation. So when I finally got it, it took me 4 years to win my first one. So, and it took him 14 years to win his. So I can only imagine. No, I can't imagine. I know exactly what he felt like. Because it is an emotional moment. It is a great moment. And when I won my first heavyweight championship, I was a heel. So it was people in there cheering for me, but they were my family. And so, and that was it. But for him to have
Booty.
yeah, I was getting but like hey man, shout out to my folks that came up from Alabama to see me win the title, man. That's one of the best nights of my life. Quick side note, man, my cousin threw money up in the air like we was at the strip club. Boy, that thing was so funny. So, uh, but no, man, Russo could have kept that to himself, bro. And I ain't mad at Rikishi's response at all. Um, because first of all, that's his kid. Second, that's a huge moment because you got another father-son combination to hold the Intercontinental Championship. History was made again. So it's not just a prop, bro. If you really in it and if you really love it, it's more than that. And so again, Russo just trying to stay relevant. And I understand he's what they call in radio a shock jock, like Ron was talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, thank you, brother, for all your takes. One thing that I noticed, and I would agree, I think he's just trying to stay relevant too. But I want to say that I think I saw this online. I didn't hear it out of Russo's mouth, but he said in the quotes that out of respect for Rikishi and the family, he's not going to say this anymore. He's not going to elaborate on it anymore. But he don't think a segment on SmackDown with Roman and Solo was great TV. But he didn't go into detail. You kind of watch how he said it. You know what I'm saying? He didn't go into detail based on the reaction he got the first time.
Hey, bro, I'm
You know what I'm
gonna
saying?
say this
Like,
real quick. I'm sorry, Lonnie. I just thought about this.
sorry, bro.
No, how Rikishi said, I'm Samoan before I'm a wrestler. Listen, I used to live in Washington State. The West Coast is Samoan heavy, and what he said that was that he wasn't just talking. That's a threat. That's a threat, bro. They roll deep. I got jumped by a bunch of them guys before. Listen, that's one of the. You ain't fooling with a whole group, or you might be able to take one, but you ain't taking the whole group of them. You know what I'm saying? So, Russo heard what he said, and he heard it loud and clear. Because when Rikishi said, "I'm Samoan, I'm a wrestler," bro, that's not a sentence. That is a whole threat. That is a whole threat. He was telling Buddy to watch your mouth. Yeah, I'm being dead serious. Like he was telling him to watch his mouth, and that's why Russo ain't finna elaborate because He know he's for real. Like this ain't no storyline or no work. And that's his kid. I know how I am about my son. If somebody say he made a bad play in football, and they could be right. I can only imagine how pissed off I'd be when my son had the highlight of his career and somebody's trying to tear it down because they got a problem with the business. I just wanted to make that point.
Yeah, that's some insight there, man. And I kind of picked up on it too when he said that out of respect. Like he said, I kind of figured like he changed his tune because he may know some things that we don't know. You know, he's been in the business for a while. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, we want to hear what you think in the comments. I think this has been going on for the last couple of weeks with that, but we want to hear what you say. But fellas, any final comments or any shout outs you want to give before we wrap out?
Oh, hold on. There is one topic I do want to cover because I want you guys' opinion on this. We got to talk. It's AEW related, so this may be a different section. But Adam Cole, MJF. How do we feel about AEW possibly continuing that story, considering the atmosphere, the heel face dynamic, the time frame, how the Devil's story ended up being? How do y'all feel about them trying to possibly continue this feud?
So what I would say, I think that'll be a topic for another time. But I will say that I will say this. No, I will say this because I know we talk a lot of I know we have an AEW Pacific kind of guideline there on the day. But I will say this: if Adam Cole remains healthy, I think they should continue it and let it play a little. Well, any shout outs you want to give before we kind of close out for the day, gentlemen? This is pretty cool.
To my
You know
bro,
what I'm trying.
shout out to my little big brother Sean. I just appreciate being here with you guys. It's always awesome. Love doing the show. Love seeing the comments. So y'all keep leaving y'all comments, man. We love hearing what y'all got to say. I love reading your comments when I can see. And let's just keep the party going. Go get your merchandise because I'm gonna do mine on the first.
Let's get it, man. That was so weird. I ain't gonna lie, RC. That was so weird. It
What?
came out of
I'm
nowhere.
putting this up.
No, he just rated up. So that was weird, man. It's weird. He had the red.
There you go. I'm trying to sell some merchandise. I'm trying to get it out there.
Hey,
There
all
you
good.
go. You messing it up. You messing my sale up.
Hey, all good. Hey, but I appreciate you brothers too. Look forward. Not only keep a lookout for us. We got some good things coming out around the corner as well. Not just merchandise, some other things we're gonna be doing. Look for us, maybe in a city near you sooner or later, as well as looking at us maybe all together in one room. So much to do, so much to talk about. But this has been the Champions Corner. My name is Lonnie. These are my brothers Ron, the Professor BJ Jacoby, the Alabama Ambassador, and we out. Peace, everyone.
Have a good night, everybody.
Hey.
Go ahead, upload. RC, go ahead, upload.